Welcome back to the Skull Survivor devlog, making a survivor-like and adapting my spin mechanics. So today we're going to be adding a boss fight to the first level and then set up a way for levels to have bosses as we go forward. So far in the trailer, I made random bosses appear just to get the trailer working. And so we're just going to even this out so we can get started. Um, so right now, we have random bosses spawning. Yeah, spawn boss at interval. And then it just has a bunch of, 4 bosses here. We got the level collection and all this other stuff. Spawn bosses at interval. I built this all before adding unit tests, so we're probably gonna have to get this under test, and we probably need something maybe a little bit different anyway. So we can start by just maybe unit testing all this stuff out. So let's go ahead and go to test class. Um, we have Yeah, we don't have the escort tests yet, so we're gonna just do tests. Actually, it's on the escort, so that might not be a bad idea to mimic that pathing. So let's go up here, select. So this is inside player. I'm being told to sleep by my phone. Um, and we're going to, yeah, let's go to one of our tests, and then in the player folder, we'll add escort tests and maybe even an escort folder. Because then we can, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of different things we're testing there. The new file, and the bosses are going to spawn around the player. They're going to be dynamic, so we don't, yeah, we're just going to pick a random place around the player to spawn them. So maybe we'll need to do a testable random as well. We'll figure that out. But let's see, spawn boss. At time, maybe something like that. Escort spawn boss at time tests. And we're going to create a corresponding class for that. Class that, or tests that escort prefab in player folder spawns boss at time. And we're going to just say, let's see if we can get some stuff generated out of this. Not quite, because it's trying to create a mono behavior. It's fixture. Let it generate that. No. Let's see if it gives us anything else before we just drop in some additional stuff. Sure. That was hardly worth it, but oh, actually, public. No, string. Hey, didn't have to think about that one. Let's see. Tests that. Yeah, why not? Time from level collection. Time manager, something like that. Do. Waiting for the AI to generate all that code. Oh my gosh. It's trying to create everything by itself. And it knows I don't like to do that. I don't. We have this script string up above that should let us do this. I don't know why CoPilot is all of a sudden deciding that it doesn't want to do that. I think CoPilot is only using the file we're in to identify what to generate. So if you don't have some examples already, it's kind of hard. Yeah, doesn't like any of that. All right. Uses the prefab or load the prefab from the database. Last try, and then I'm copying pasting code from another file. Ridiculous. Like, we don't. What in the world? Okay. Highly unfortunate because, yeah, you had the right answer right here. And we're going to just have a I like this. I kind of want it to be lowercase though. Prefab path. Let's see, const. Let's let that file load. And then we'll obviously see that this thing doesn't exist. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's not in here either. So let's get a bunch of that and then clean it up. Edit mode test base is definitely not something we wanted. Fascinating. We do want this, but we need to be in the player folder of the scripts. Okay, so that's an edit mode test inside of scripts, but we have probably export dash. It's just like right there inside player. So we're gonna just say new file, bam.cs. And let's see. Class 2 spawn boss at a certain time using the player options level collection. So I'm hitting Control Enter on CoPilot and it does the synthesize 10 solutions. Usually this gives you more to the file that you're generating, which is pretty nice. Except it takes a while. Could be writing code while it's doing all this, huh? Oh, nothing again. I feel like today's just a bad day to write a new class. Class. Come on, at least give me something here. Ridiculous. It just generated what was in the other one, didn't it? Save boss at interval. Levels, settings, enemy manager bosses. That's hilarious. Okay, well, we probably can just stick to I think we can compile and run the tests and see a failure and then get started. Oh, there we go. Open that error line. And of course, our prefab does not yet contain the mono behavior we need. So we're going to just head on over to that. We're going to go into the inspector and select him. We are probably just to take a screenshot of this in case. And we can have it later. And other than that, this can go away. And we'll just add the new one. Hey, there we are. And get kind of cracking. So this test would then pass, but it's not a great test. There's components on there. So we're going to kind of drive this a little harder. Alrighty, so now we want to make sure that the player options was spawned after a certain amount of time. Lapse time till boss spawns. Let's do testable time dot delta time func. Sure. I'm gonna update it. 1,000 milliseconds or something. And then we're gonna call update. And then we want update. Make it public for the tests. And okay, so we call update and then cert current levels boss is spawned from the player options. Will it infer? Doesn't know. Cert are equal. What do we want to show? We need to see that the instantiate was called, right? And so instantiate, blah, 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 blah. Can we get a reference to that instantiated object? The boss. In fact, I think we have some code here. Enemy bot targeting. Bosses to spawn. Turning in that identity. So this is all stuff that we want. Except we want to get the boss from a different place. But then we want to know that the boss was registered And maybe we won't be able to test that. So we're kind of testing something I've never tested before here, which is the instantiation. Now, let's see, instantiate is part of the mono behavior, I think. This dot instantiate, or is just instantiate. Is it a, where is this coming from? Object. So it's like this object of this dot instantiate. Nope, it's coming off of there somewhere. All right, well, we are using get. And get is based off of the pooled mono behavior. So we could potentially use a mock of that. Pooled get, pooled objects. We could check its pool as well. It's a good question. I'll have to work this out. Okay, so I think we're gonna try a little experiment here. We're going to see if we can find object of type in the scene, because I don't know if this will work. So target dot game object dot find. Nope, maybe we need to be find objects sort mode. It doesn't know where find objects is of type is from. So object. We're gonna just say assert dot r equal target. So we spawned it. So if this is the case, then maybe we can figure out what we spawned in the scene. So let's go back in here. Expected was empty, which is not great because target is in there. So that means that we don't have access to that. Score but was null. Yeah, so game object instantiate is not putting it necessarily in the scene. All right, so what I figured out we can do here is actually we can say assert dot r equal. What we're gonna say is target or not target. It's going to be, actually, we're going to just do it in quotes. Let's see, skeleton king animated enemy health. And we are expecting that to be game object dot find, and basically this guy dot get component enemy health dot name. Enemy health gets imported there, and that goes in there. Let me just say extract a local spawned object name, something like that. And then yeah, so we find that it gets created, right? So we go back in here. And it's obviously not going to find that because we're not spawning them. And now we can get into it. So, yes, the prefab for the level we want. So actually, let's just say tests. We can go find something in these test files here. Or we're getting like a specific level maybe. Select menu. Grasslands. Yeah, set selected level. Delete all, set selected level. So in our test here, we'll say we're going to the grasslands. And the grassland is expected to see this boss. And one of the things that we're going to do is maybe get the bar expected prefab to spawn equals. And then we're going to say target dot player options dot so on and so forth. Player options. And then dot, and then we're going to say level collection dot get current level. Get selected level. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, protection level, really? Yeah. I mean, we could get grasslands off of that. And oh yeah, I guess how do we want to do that? I think we just want to say dot boss prefab. Which levels don't have that yet. We'll make that a field. Make that a game object. And so now we know to spawn a boss in the level. Maybe after a specific set of time. And I think we can just say, yeah, we could hard code it there. No, I like this. Dot name. And so, yeah, we're gonna go find it. We're gonna go get its name and compare it to that. And obviously it's gonna be null now, but we can go ahead and see if everything compiles. Null reference exception. And yeah, so that is because we're missing a whole bunch of stuff now. So we're going to open the escort prefab. We're going to go grab player options. We go into player options. Player options will take us to level collection, which will take us to grasslands, which has a boss prefab of the skeleton. Skeleton King prefab, which is inside enemies. Whoops. The Skeleton King animated. This guy. Ooh, and actually, I think what we want is an enemy health. Because then we can use our pooled mono behavior. So we're going to go back over there. In fact, this also might be a problem because the pooled mono behavior might not like me. Alrighty, so we're back up here. Skeleton King animated, drops in there. Great. Run all. Still not set to an instance of an object. Hopefully our escort. Nope, did not. Open. Oh, so infuriating. Player options. Click back and forth. It's there. I'm going to save. Grasslands. It's there. I'm going to save. Back out of here and prove that it's down here. Run. Object. Yay. Yay. All right. So our test runner now should show us that something else is broken. Could not find Skeleton King animated. Oh, that's because we're trying to find a clone, right? Probably the same problem. Let's see. So we have this prefab to spawn. And so if we said object dot instantiate that dot name. Oh, that's because we don't have it in there anyway. But test. All right, so we're just gonna see what our name should be here. Skeleton King animated clone. So we'll undo all this. Skeleton King animated clone. And of course, we need to now make it inside of our update loop. So yeah, so in here we have the spawn bosses interval. We know all of this stuff for the spawn next boss. So this thing is sort of there. I like having that button in there. We know the boss is going to come from the current level. So we can just say level dot. Oh, bring this over a bit. Boss prefab. Dot get distance in front to spawn. Okay. Sure, why not? Throw that in there too. Might need to add that to the test criteria. And then let's see, we'll write some tests to get that in there first. And we don't need anything about the boss index. And of course, if we did this in the update loop, it would just make thousands of them. However, we're not quite there yet. So we're just going to see if this passes, and then we can triangulate on our test. The queue is empty. And so I guess let's do this at instantiate first, and then we'll work on this mono behavior pool, because that might be a more complicated thing, and we'll do that in another video. So rather than using it the way that we did before, let's just do instantiate. Perfect. All right. Oh, almost. Oh, expected was. Expected prefab. And it's still, oh, it didn't even get the, oh, that's because we got the name out. I see. So we found that guy. Yeah, and then we say like plus clone. One more time. All right. And before I go to sleep, I will end on a failing test. So let's go ahead and knock that out. All right, let's knock out this last little bit here. Yeah, okay, so we spawn it, but we also want the elapsed time to show up. So we got spawn boss at time. And then we want like test don't spawn boss before time. So same thing. Update. And so are not equal. But we could probably even do better than that. We can just say spawn boss object name is null. Okay, so we call update. It's not after the set amount of time, so should get it there. As you can see with an example, we easily got the right code generated. So it's really good at building stuff off of patterns, right? So yeah, now it's saying it's spawning, but it shouldn't be. So now we want to go back to this one. And we're going to say, let's see. maybe on enable. And we already have player options, but we want to say maybe time to spawn equals options dot um, seconds to boss, maybe something like that. We'll generate a field for that. Seconds to end of level. Probably want it to, oops. Seconds to boss. Float. We'll make it public. And we'll generate a local for this, or a field rather. Time to spawn. And then we'll just say if time to spawn, if layer options dot level collections dot time level timer dot elapsed time greater than or equal to time to spawn. And we're going to spawn the boss one time. So we're going to say, let's see, boss spawned equals false. Generate that field here. I'm going to say boss spawn equals true. And then maybe here. If boss spawned return. Yeah. So now both tests should pass. Maybe we'll call it there, and then maybe I'll make a video on testing the pooling system because I think that's really important too. Uh-oh. Not spawned before time. And that's because probably the boss timer is not set to a time. So let's go to level 1 grasslands. We're gonna say we have like 900 seconds to the end of level. Maybe we'll just do like 800 seconds to the end of level. The boss. So you have what, like a minute and a half to kill him. And maybe we'll get a bonus for killing him before the timer is over. Ooh, I like it. Maybe. We'll see. So now we should be able to see. Let's run. Uh-oh. That's because we never launched the timer. Lapse time. So if the lapse time is greater than time to spawn. I got the selected level to get the second boss. I want this to be spawn boss. Yeah, nothing updates the timer. Still, that doesn't make any sense because we have elapsed time. Weird. Level collection. Debug. Yeah, see, the other part shouldn't be in there, so that's okay. Well, let's reset the timer and all that too. Reset level timer. So yeah, in fact, we can just shortcut the delta time anyway, assuming that that's all going to work. So what we can do here is say target dot player options dot level collection dot level timer dot reset level timer. And I'm going to just extract this to a local. I say level timer dot start level timer dot update, but 850 850 seconds versus basically the same thing, but 600 seconds. So then the target dot update is going to fire after the elapsed time was updated. Let's give it a shot. The error is not showing up, so we're going to just try that again. Nope. What is the build? Clear results. All right, run all. Okay, we're still spawning him though. Why is that? So escort does. Okay, so test escort does not spawn boss before time. Wants it to be is null. Find skeleton animated clone. Wonder if it's finding that one. Can we? Okay. So it's not bleeding from the other test. Okay. Still good. Calling update. Really wants to spawn it. Okay. So level update. All right. So if the boss is not spawned, yeah, we're going to jump in here. And time to spawn was the seconds to boss, so that should be 850. By the time we're in here, we're just getting to 600. 600 is less than 850. So we should not spawn the boss. So what is going on? I think it's time to do a little bit of debugging. I really just want to wrap this video up. Oh my gosh. Went on a lot longer than I thought it would. 600. 0. Why is that 0? Seconds to boss. Because we're not calling on enable. Silly. All right. Good call. So as part of the setup, we're going to do target.on enable. And that's private right now. And so if we don't on enable it, we don't get the time to spawn. But still. Oh, because yeah, it was 0 and 0 and 0. Okay. On enable. That's why the test triangulation worked. Okay, so now should see both of them pass. Hey, all right. Well, that's the end of that video. Please like, subscribe, share the video with anybody that you know is trying to unit test. Trying to show as much struggling as I'm doing as possible because I'm just trying to find these new ways of testing things in Unity. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to y'all later. Reach out. See ya.